The X75 is AceBeam's most powerful flashlight ever, capable of putting out a whopping 80,000 lumens. But it's not just that headline figure that's impressive. I'm James Bruce, you're watching MUO Reviews from MakeUseOf.com. Join me as I thoroughly banish the darkness from across these forsaken lands with the AceBeam X75. The AceBeam X75 is an absolute beast of a flashlight, weighing no less than 1.25 kilograms or 44 ounces and measuring 92 mil at the head and a total length of 176 millimeters. Now, unlike other AceBeam models, the handle is not optional, but it is removable for repair. You will, however, need to use it, partly because the buttons are on here, but also because in order to aid with the heat dissipation, they have these copper fins that are exposed, and there's a powerful fan affixed to the handle structure. You can actually pull out the handle, unscrew it, and then pull it out for service or replacement of the fan if needed. Now, I will note that the fan is very loud and kicks in almost immediately when you turn it into turbo mode. And if you've been running it for a while, it will keep on running for some time after turning it off even completely. What's that? Almost a full minute later it turns off. It's an intelligent fan system, autonomous, and will just do its thing whenever it needs to, basically. But, and a crucial point here is that you can disable that fan and have manual control over it. AceBeam has added that onto the menu system. Now, I wouldn't recommend doing that. I'm not going to try it, but know that if you really need to, you can turn off the fan. Now, looking at it, you wouldn't believe it, but it's also IP68 rated. So despite those exposed cooling fins in there, you don't need to worry about rain or even completely submerging it in water. Up to 2 meters, it'll be fine. So there is a really ingenious design here with the head of the flashlight mostly isolated from the rest of the body, with the fans working really well to keep the heat away from the main body. So it pulls a cold air in here just next to the body, then it pushes it up over these copper cooling fins and then exhausts it out to the side. You can see an example of that in the FLIR video that I shot, showing you just how well it works, the temperature discrepancy between the head and the rest of the body. Now, because of the sheer weight and also because of the potential to get hot, AceBeam has fitted a color-changing silicon bumper on the X75, and you can remove this if you want that hard bezel for tactical use, but it's recommended to keep it on. Without that, the head does get dangerously hot, and it will burn you if you touch it. The bumper actually changes color to blue or sort of whitish when the temperature is above 55 degrees. Now, the buttons to operate the X75 can be found on the handle itself, which is much more convenient than other models where you get a handle, sure, but the buttons are on the other side of the device on the main body. Here, you also have 2 buttons plus a mechanical lock to avoid accidental activation in your bag or by inquisitive little people. More on the operation and those buttons later. But one other small design point is that there's a tripod UNC thread underneath. Nothing unexpected, but useful little feature. Internally, you have a custom 5,100 milliamp hour battery based on 4 21700 batteries. It's very similar to the X50, which had 3 of those instead, and replacements of the entire battery unit are available for $150. And when I say an internal battery, it's actually the entire back of the torch, the main body, that screws off, and it's this custom block which you'll need to replace. This itself is not user serviceable, nor is it interchangeable with the X50 pack, despite looking very similar. Now, a quick note that when it arrives, you want to unscrew this because it has a plastic seal internally. You'll need to remove that. I forgot about that and genuinely panicked a bit when I thought it was broken and I'd been sent a dud. Also, be sure to charge it up fully before you turn it on. Now, it takes about an hour and a half to fully recharge over USB-C using the included 60-watt charger. However, you can optionally charge it from a 100-watt PD supply in 1 hour. It is compatible, it's just not supplied in the standard package. You can also do reverse charging too through that same USB-C port here. So if you're caught short out in the middle of nowhere without power in your smartphone, if you have a USB-C to USB-C or lightning cable, you can just plug it in here and it will happily charge your phone. You don't need to do anything fancy or press any buttons, it just works. And that's the same port that you'll charge through. So just be careful when you're doing this because it's quite greasy around the thread for the waterproofing. So you will need to sort of put a finger on the top and then push it in if you need some leverage. So when you plug it in, you'll get a red light on the right-hand side to indicate that it's charging. And after it negotiates a higher speed with the USB charger you're using, you'll get a blue light on the left. And then once it's done, it'll go green. It's pretty simple. Okay, on to operation. So I mentioned two buttons. One is smaller than the other, and that's the first one you'll get to with your thumb when you're holding the handle. That's the main button, and then the larger of the two is the auxiliary button. So the main button operates in much the same way as any other AceBeam light does with the familiar UI. And for those of you who aren't familiar with that, one quick press will turn it on, and that has a mode memory for whatever standard mode you were last on. One long press from off will turn it on to super low brightness. Now, although I say, and it's called super low, it's still 900 lumens. So it's not exactly a moonlight mode with a couple of lumens, but it is perhaps a useful mode that you might even want to use most of the time if you need the battery to last literally forever. Now, long pressing it from on will cycle through the next standard mode up or back down once you go past high. So that gives you a low 2000, medium 1 5,000 lumens, medium 2 11,000 lumens, and high 23,000 lumens. Double pressing the small button from either off or from any standard mode takes you directly to turbo of 80,000 lumens. I really need to turn that off. While triple pressing this initiates strobe, I'm going to stop that, strobe mode of 66,000 lumens. And if you hate that strobe, then that's fine. It's easy to ignore. The only way to access it is specifically, I'm not going to do it again, triple clicking, so you're not going to cycle through it, and it's not accidental or anything. So on top of that, you also have the auxiliary button, and that's the larger of the two. And what's interesting about this is that it acts as a momentary turbo switch, which I think is a much more useful way to use the turbo mode. So in that one, you just press it and hold it down, you'll get turbo. So you might just want to burst out, scan an area, then drop back to whatever regular mode you were in. So let's talk about that light output. The X75 output comes from no less than 12 Cree XHP 70.2 LEDs at a cool daylight temperature of 6500 Kelvin. However, you also have the option of a warmer 70.2 5000 Kelvin LED or 70.3 6500 Kelvin, both of which are slightly dimmer at 75,000 and 67,000 lumens, as well as being slightly pricier on top of the base price plus $30 or $40. Although the headline turbo mode of 80,000 lumens is obviously absurd, that's only going to be sustained for 30 seconds continuous usage before it needs to step down to a lower output. However, that's not unusual at all with these kinds of floodlights and high power flashlights in general. But what's even more impressive than the headline turbo mode is the standard high mode of 23,000 lumens, which can be sustained for 7 minutes, dropping to 17,500 lumens for a further 25 minutes. So that's an average of around 20,000 lumens output for 30 minutes continuous, which is also pretty insane. Medium 2 is 11,000 lumens, and that lasts for 63 minutes, while the medium 1 lasts for 2.5 hours at 5,000 lumens, and that's probably going to be bright enough for most purposes. So even though that high and turbo 80,000 mode is incredibly impressive, it's probably the other modes that you're going to use just because they're the longest lasting, and they will last long with this. Now, all of those figures I quoted assume you do let the fan controller do its own thing, which is what AceBeam calls windy mode. While you can disable the fan using a sequence of auxiliary button presses, I wouldn't suggest doing so. In addition, it has an eco mode. You can quickly click the aux button 10 times to switch between eco and power mode. And while the X75 sales page says it arrives in eco mode, ours actually didn't. It came in power mode already. And I don't really see any reason to deliberately cripple the functionality either. If you want something not as bright, then don't buy something as bright. If you do disable either the fan controller or you go into eco mode, then of course the characteristics of the light output and speed at which it ramps down is going to change. So I'm not going to go into detail of all of those. You can check it out on AceBeam's official specs page if you think you're going to run it in eco mode. So that's the AceBeam X75. It is the new standard in high power floodlights. It is tied for the title of most powerful flashlight in the world, if not the most powerful flashlight in the world, because others just don't have the same highly efficient cooling system, that same design there. So they aren't able to sustain high output for a particularly long time. It is completely waterproof with an ingenious fan and heat dissipation design. The buttons are easy to access on the handle, and I really appreciate that momentary push switch for turbo mode. I really hope we see more of that moving forward. But even outside of the turbo mode of 80,000, which is impressive as it is, I think it's that sustained 20,000 lumens for 30 minutes or 10,000 for 60 minutes that's really remarkable, and it easily beats the competition at this price point. Which, speaking of price point, $400 is obviously a lot of money still, but it's a quality product and well worth it if you can justify that kind of money on a flashlight. Clearly, it's not a model for everyone though, so set your expectations appropriately for your budget, because this is about as high-end as they get, at least with floodlight style lights. For some people though, this custom battery pack is going to be the single biggest turn-off and reason not to buy the X75, and I completely understand that point of view from both a user servicing cost and just environmental perspective. I would always prefer a device to have easily serviceable batteries that I could just say buy on Amazon, but it just isn't the case here. And I think for most people, the ease of charging over USB-C, the ability to act as an emergency battery backup for your smart devices, that's probably the way to go. It's just not going to be for everyone. Anyway, thank you for watching, and thank you to AceBeam for sending this to check out. This wasn't a sponsored review or anything, but I have been genuinely pretty blown away by the X75. It is the new king of flood flashlights. I hope this review has helped you to know a little bit more about the X75 and know about what it can do with some sample beam shots, and know whether it's the right flashlight for you. If it did help you, hit like and consider subscribing. If it didn't, then head on down to the comments, tell me why and how I can do better next time. Until next time, thanks for watching.